The F&M speaking out about the PLP's reported move to get rid of the administrator of the country's largest hospital.
She has 18 months left on her contract and they want to terminate it and give her 1 month pay.
Police concerned about drug cultivation in the country.
We're seeing an increasing trend in the local cultivation of marijuana, and that's cause for concern.
Revised predictions for hurricane season, plus a focus on finding jobs for young men with criminal records.
If we don't address it, certainly that will be a major problem.
I'm Nakia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Spending your Sunday evening with us. Free National Movement leader and former Minister of Health Dr. Hubert Minnis today lashing out at the Christie administration for its plans to reportedly get rid of Princess Margaret Hospital Administrator Corley Adderley and cancel the expansion of the Rand Memorial Hospital in Grand Bahama. Juan McCartney reports.
Adderley is one of just 2 board-certified hospital administrators in the country and the only one in the public sector. Minnis says her qualifications are without question, and the move to get rid of her is purely personal. Minnis said Adderley's assessment shows that she's a stellar administrator, and he doubts there's a valid reason for what he says happened earlier this week.
On Thursday, she was called in by the Public Hospital Authority, who informed her that the government wants to terminate her contract. She has 18 months left on her contract, and they want to terminate it and give her 1 month pay. Corley Adderley understands the healthcare system. She's instrumental and has been from inception of the new critical care block, the redevelopment of the hospital, the expansion of the hospital. She knows exactly where the health sector is trying to go in terms of the health bridge to the future at One Bahamas.
Adderley has reportedly not yet received a letter confirming her contract has been canceled. There was also no response from the Public Hospitals Authority or the government up to news time. Minnis said that the Christie administration seems to be establishing a troubling pattern.
Now, how can you talk about you are pro-Bahamians when this is a professional? You have no reasons other than what I know. There may have been some personality conflicts with her and the present minister in the past. I don't know what impact that have on this today. But later on, I will deal with these matters in Parliament. The government is also trying to pressure other professionals within the system, consultants, to resign. So you want to push Bahamians out, presumably because you believe that they may not be of your political affiliation. Professional groups are professional. A lot of them are professional. The physicians, they do not care, nor does Corley Adderley care whether you are PLP or F&M. They are rendering a service.
Minnis also has an issue with the PLP's plan to turn the Island Palm Hotel on Grand Bahama into a homeless shelter, as opposed to using it to expand the hospital. The 156-room hotel was supposed to be used to take advantage of the new state-of-the-art operating theater at the Rand Memorial Hospital. But Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis recently said that the building will instead be used to help the disadvantaged on the island. However, the former health minister contends that there's a way to do both.
I am for Bahamians. If individuals are homeless, you want to help them. But I'm saying, look at the long term. Don't stagnate your health sector. At the same time, provide for the homeless. Improve the social services that is provided so the homeless can be cared for properly. And at the same time, you can elevate the economic situation by utilizing the inventory that's already there that Bahamians own. So you would give them an opportunity to become part of the economic pie. And at the same time, the homeless, depending on why they're homeless, the state of their homelessness, they would require certain facilities and certain individuals to care for them. So you would create job employment from that standpoint.
Minnis also said he sees no hard data to support the notion that the homeless problem on Grand Bahama is severe enough to warrant this turnabout.
They talk about individuals in cars and on beaches, etc. Show the evidence. What are the numbers? There's no discussion with Port Authority in terms of zoning process. Can that be utilized for that?
Minnis added that the opposition doesn't plan to let these issues rest. Reporting for NB12, I'm Juan McCartney.
The recent discovery of marijuana worth an estimated $40 million in several fields in Grand Bahama has raised eyebrows across the country as to how this could happen. But it turns out that vast marijuana fields tucked away in pine forests across the country isn't uncommon. In fact, police say it's a disturbing trend they're determined to break. Our Jasmine Bonamy has the details in this next report.
Local pine forests and areas covered in heavy vegetation like this one are serving as more than just natural habitats for the animals and plant life that call them home. Police say some are being transformed into vast marijuana fields.
Again, it's an issue that we're seeing an increasing trend in the local cultivation of marijuana, and that's cause for concern.
And it's been an uphill battle for local authorities who continue their fight to dismantle drug smuggling and distribution operations. Deputy Commissioner of Police Quinn McCartney says a new trend has emerged in the Family Islands, where marijuana fields are cultivated in less populated communities.
Grand Bahama is a very, very large landmass, 96 miles from east to west and about 12 miles from north to south, so it's a very, very large island. And historically, we've had some challenges with Grand Bahama in terms of cultivation of marijuana.
Over the past 2 years, police have identified and eradicated sophisticated marijuana sites consisting of thousands of plants that grow among local vegetation. Grand Bahama, where the most recent discovery was made, is of particular concern, according to McCartney. 3 weeks ago, police discovered 30 marijuana fields in the pine forest on the north side of the Grand Bahama Highway.
It's easy to mask those kind of activities behind the disguise of the legitimate vegetation.
He says police intelligence and tips from residents have been critical to the finds, but admits there is a greater need for the public to feed information to the police.
Because of our investigative techniques, because of our intelligence, because of the information that we get from members of the public, I think that's why we're being much more successful in finding more illegal drugs in our country.
Now, if you're wondering what happens to those marijuana plants after they're discovered, McCartney assured they are always destroyed. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
Well, you may notice that police officers have been out in full force many evenings, pulling over vehicles and citing drivers for various offenses. Officer in charge of the Traffic Division, Superintendent Ken Strawn, says traffic police are determined to enforce the rules of the road, from the most minor to the most serious offense. He said that so far this year, more than 14,000 people have been cited for various offenses, more than 9,000 of them in New Providence.
Our predominant offense that we see according to our data out there speaks to this issue of unregistered vehicles. So we know that there are a number of individuals out there who are traveling or traversing our streets with vehicles that have not yet been registered for this year. And we have some incidents where vehicles are appearing that haven't been registered for 3-4 years that are traveling on our streets.
Strawn said that an even more disturbing trend is the increasing number of people driving without insurance. He says that in many cases, drivers involved in serious accidents are uninsured.
The time for compensating the aggrieved parties becomes a challenge, and it bears a burden on us in the Traffic Division, and by extension law enforcement, and further to that of the persons who suffered the loss. So we're encouraging persons out there, don't take that chance. Whereas the penalty for driving an unregistered vehicle might simply be $250, the chances of you losing something of tangible value, i.e. your property, your home, to try and compensate the aggrieved party who has suffered damages of injuries through civil recourse is very real, very, very real.
The penalty for driving an uninsured vehicle is $450. Strawn said that they're also cracking down on drivers with dark tints on their car windows, as well as those driving without a seatbelt. During the launch of the Urban Renewal Commission last week, Prime Minister Perry Christie said the program is crucial in the fight against crime in the country. But according to the Prime Minister, only so much can be done if young men with criminal records can't find jobs. Christie said it's a problem that needs to be addressed. Well, co-chair of Urban Renewal 2.0, Cynthia Mother Pratt, told NB12 that she and co-chair Algernon Allen will do their best to encourage employers to give former criminals a second chance.
I would like to think that we can encourage some persons to hire some of these people who they feel they can be trusted around their building or around their premises in doing some type of work that can bring income. This is what we are hoping. Now, we can't make people do, of course, but I believe that there are persons out there who do have compassion, who would say, well, I know of this young man, and he's not that type of the young man, so I'll take a chance in hiring him.
Pratt says she will also try to encourage employers to consider a person innocent until proven guilty, and says that if young men on bail are not able to work, it will only force them into a life of crime.
If we don't address it, certainly that will be a major problem, because a young man who has a family, he must be able to feed his family, and if he's on bail, his case hadn't come up yet, how will he then be able to provide for his family?
Allen told us that Urban Renewal itself has hired young men in the various communities to assist with the clearing down of buildings and cleaning up of neighborhoods. Well, still to come on NB12 Weekend, news from the Ministries of Labor and Social Services.
For workers all over the country, these are very challenging times. The biggest problem they're having right now is trying to find work. Unemployment rate is just too high.
Stay tuned.
At Eagle Electric, we carry everything you need for any electrical job you have, your house, apartment, or commercial building. Our lighting fixtures, ceiling fans, air conditioners, electrical piping and fittings, and our generators are the best quality for the best price. Guaranteed. Every day. You'll find just what you need for less than you thought. And now through September, for every $20 you spend, you'll be entered to win one of 6 vehicles we're giving away. You could be driving a Honda Domani, Nissan Sunny, or flatbed truck courtesy of Eagle Electric. We've already given away our first vehicle to a very happy winner, along with fabulous prizes to even more lucky winners. You could be next. So stop in either of our locations on Tonic Williams Darling Highway or Carmichael Road West today. Eagle Electric and Lighting Center. Best quality, best price, guaranteed, every day. Eagle Electrical Supplies and Lighting, 341-4000.
It's Sunday and you're watching NB12. Thanks for staying with us. Over the past few months, issues involving employees across the country have made national headlines, from city market workers to members of the Prison Staff Association and workers at the Bahamas Electricity Corporation. Minister of Labor Shane Gibson says it all indicates that it's a challenging time for workers who are facing a number of issues.
For workers all over the country, these are very challenging times. The biggest problem they're having right now is trying to find work. Unemployment rate is just too high. You have too many persons unemployed, too many persons underemployed. You have individuals, even though they're working, instead of working the full 5 days, 40 hours a week, they're working in some cases 1 and 2 days.
Gibson says he plans to do all he can to help address those issues. Earlier this month, Gibson met with both major umbrella unions with the view of getting labor unions to work in unity, and he says he plans to meet with other unions in the coming weeks. Gibson has also pledged the ministry's support in helping solve issues currently faced by city market workers.
And you have a lot of employers who are taking advantage of the loopholes in the system and in legislation. But basically, I get the impression that there is a sense of renewed hope with the trade unions.
Well, each month, thousands of Bahamians in need line up outside social service distribution centers throughout New Providence. Over the years, the crowded and sometimes slow service has constantly come under fire by those who seek assistance. Just last year, services at the department's Horseshoe Drive location were suspended more than once for several hours after some people who showed up for assistance reportedly threatened workers. Since then, police officers have been stationed at each of the distribution centers across the island. And according to Director of Social Services Melanie Zonical, the centers were recently refurbished to make them more customer-friendly. Zonical adds that the revamped facilities allow the distribution centers' clients to feel more comfortable while being helped. Officials say during peak times, up to 300 people can come to the social services offices a day. They add that 16 to 20 workers man each station.